Hello, hello to subscribers new and old. For those of you who don't know, this is my Monday Game of Thrones days. So my name is Catherine Bogle, and you're watching my review of Episode 6 of Game of Thrones Season 3, The Climb. Which is a very, very obvious meaning since, obviously they're gonna climb the freaking wall, it's very obvious. So we start up with Sam, and he is creating a fire for him and his lady friend there because they're still on the run, and there's only apparently a few days left until they're back to the wall or whatever, I imagine. And he's kind of telling her about Castle Black and about what it's like there, and then she asks him to sing her a song, and it's all adorable and stuff. We also finally officially find out that the wall is about 700 feet high. Holy sweet baby Jesus, that's high. Then we skip to a group we haven't seen in an episode or two. We see Mira and Osha, and they're both skinning rabbits, and they're kind of getting at each other's throats. They have a little bit of a female rivalry going on. So that's kind of a new thing for this show. So they're very gruesomely skinning rabbits. And I watched an interview recently of Osha's actress, and she was basically saying how she could never own a rabbit now after this scene that perspires here. So then Bran finally intervenes, and he's basically like, ladies, freaking calm the fuck down and stop fighting. So they finally make peace, and they're just sitting down again when suddenly Jojen starts having a seizure, basically. And then Mira, of course, gets up and runs to him and puts a belt in his mouth so he doesn't bite his tongue off. And then she basically says this is the price of the my phone, sorry. That's basically the price of being a warg, basically. This is the price, you have seizures and shit, and Bran's kind of this is him having a vision, and she's just kind of yep, it sucks. And then Jojen snaps out of the vision, and he's kind of whoa, I just saw Jon Snow, but he's... And then, of course, Bran is oh, good, he's, at Castle Black, and he's no, he's, beyond the wall, surrounded by enemies. And, of course, Bran's kind of what? My friend asking me if I've watched the new episode yet. Oh, yes. So right on cue, we skip to Jon Snow, and he's getting ready to scale the wall with Tormund. I finally figured out his name. I actually had to Google it because it was bugging me so much. I thought it was Tomand or something, at the first of this episode, because I finally heard someone say it again, but now it was Tormund or something. But anyway, Jon seems pretty freaking concerned about scaling the 700-foot wall, which, you should be. And Ygritte kind of tells him, not to worry, Tormund has done it before, many times, and obviously he's still alive, so it can't be that crazy. So, and then she's kind of telling him that she's excited, basically, because she really wants to see the world, from the top of the wall, which, holy crap, that would be awesome. I would definitely want that, too. And then Ygritte and Jon kind of get into this joking, cute thing, except Jon seems a little offended, and Ygritte's just, making fun of him, basically. And then Ygritte actually says this thing that actually, it doesn't surprise me because she's a very smart woman. I figured that she figured this out. Jon didn't stop becoming a crow when, he slept with her, or when he came into Mance Rayder's tent, he didn't stop becoming a crow. He's too loyal for that. And she realizes now that, he is a very loyal guy, and that's what she wants. She knows he's gonna be loyal to his woman. And then Ygritte says, it's you and me that matters to me, that's it, and basically if you betray me, I will cut your dick off and wear it as a necklace. Little far there, that's a little harsh, Ygritte. I can't express how much I love this pairing, though, they're so, perfect for each other, seeming. So then Tormund comes over and he kind of tells them, he tells Jon how to climb, basically, and that if he falls, not to scream, because you don't want that to be the last thing Ygritte hears. Boy, Jon, you have gotten yourself into shit on this one. Then we skip right to Arya, and she's shooting arrows at a dummy, and she's, saying the names of all the people she wants to kill still, and then we have Archer Dude comes up and, is kind of, helping her a little and teaching her how to, shoot faster and stuff. And then we get these people coming up out of the thicket there, like, behind them. And of course, like, they're like, holy crap, who's there? And then, of course, it's Melisandre. Ugh. And then, because Tora starts talking to her, and, like, hi, Valyrian talking. Clearly, he's freaking more intelligent guy than I took him for. Like, I kind of could tell before, but I didn't know he spoke Valyrian, so it's kind of cool we're getting some backstory on him in this episode. And then she is taken to Beric, and then she just starts touching Beric's face. And it's kind of weird. I like how Beric just kind of, like, looks over and is like, what is she doing? And then right away she knows that it was like the Lord of Light had brought him back like a bunch of times, and she asks Taurus that, and he's like, well, 6, because I'm a badass like that. So apparently then Melisandre is like, you shouldn't have this power, and like no one should, and this is impossible, and that's freaking news to me. Like, dude brought him back not once, but 6 times. Obviously it's not impossible. And then we get more lovely backstory on Taurus and how when he came to Westeros, he didn't actually originally even believe in the Lord of Light anymore. And then apparently when Beric got like a sword through his heart or something, he like fell to his knees and started praying to the Lord of Light, and the Lord of Light brought him back, I guess. And then Melisandre asks if Beric has been to the other side, and then the Beric is just kind of like, there is no other side. Like, I've only been to the darkness, which can maybe go to show you this is a false deity you're worshipping here. I know he's bringing people back to life and shit, but how do you know he's good? He's freaking shooting out darkness babies and stuff. How good can he be? And then as soon as Melisandre was kind of like, I'm here for another reason, like, I was just like, shit. Like, she is here for Gendry. And then, of course, we switch to Gendry next, and he's talking to the archer dude and Arya, and he's, like, gonna make some, like, arrowheads or something for them. And then Mel comes over and is basically like, come with me, and Gendry's like, what the fuck? Then they're just taking a bunch of freaking gold for Gendry, and, like, Gendry was gonna join the Brotherhood, and it's like, what the fuck, guys? You guys suck as a brotherhood. You're letting the stupid red woman bitch take him away for, like, no reason. You don't even know why she wants him. And you're getting, like, fucking... No, fuck you guys. Freaking... Nah. You guys suck. Like, and then Arya's pissed, and then Mel is saying weird shit like, you'll be more, like, than you ever could be or something. And you'll make kings rise and fall, like... What does that mean? Like, you could, like, you definitely get it from backstory in the show because he's, like, Robert's bastard and stuff, but at the same time, it's like, what? How is that gonna help if you take him? Because you're gonna take him back to Stannis. I hate this woman terribly. Then we have this weird moment where, like, Melisandre's about to get on her horse, and Arya comes over to her, and Melisandre, like, grabs her face. And is like, I see darkness in you, and it's very freaking creepy and ominous, and she's like, but the darkness has eyes, and they're brown, and they're blue, and they're green, and I'm a creepy fucking whore bitch. And she says that, like, their eyes shall shut forever, and it's all very creepy, and I don't like you. And then, of course, they leave with Gendry, and I'm left not being happy at all with how that turned out. I was really hoping someone would jump in there and, like, slay Melisandre, or, like, take Gendry back and run away or something, but as luck would have it. So then we're back to the wall, as per the episode title, and Jon is climbing the wall with everyone else, and holy crap, this is gonna be a long climb, and it seems very tedious. Like, this seems like a freaking time and a half, and then of course Jon looks down, and it's like, why the hell would you do that? You know how high the wall is, you've been up there. And then a piece of ice falls and hits poor Jon in the face. And then Ygritte's all concerned and adorable. And then Tormund is just kind of like, oh, we're just messing with ya. Just seeing if you could take a hit. Yeah, we're just joshing ya. It's like, oh god, this is gonna be one long-ass climb. Then we skip to poor Theon being awakened rudely by a horn and this asshole, like, taunting him and stuff. And I don't like this guy at all. Like, I don't even remember his name, but he's a dick. And then the guy's saying something about hunting down the Stark boys, basically, and killing them, and it's like, ah, fuck that. No, you will not. You fucking leave Bran and Rickon alone. Then he basically says, like, I'll make a deal with you, like, you figure out who I am and why I'm torturing you and stuff, and where you are, and, like, I will stop He doesn't say I'll stop torturing you kind of thing, but he's kind of I'll stop torturing her. I won't cut your finger off or something like that. And of course Theon's all like, well, will you let me go? And then he's like, have you learned nothing yet? And oh my god, then Theon starts getting answers wrong, and he starts like cutting into his finger, and it's just really gross, and ow, like that would fucking hurt. And then Theon finally guesses that they're at like Carhartt or something, or they're with the Karstarks, I think is basically what I got from this. But Theon gets it, and then the guy's kind of shocked, and he's like, whoa, and then Theon's like, yeah, you're like the brother of the guy the Kingslayer killed, so you're the son of Rickard Karstark, like, and then the kid's kind of like, whoa, you got that. So of course he gets it all, and then the guy's still like pulling the bone out of his finger, and it's fuck, that would hurt. So then, of course, Theon ends up, like, screaming for him to just cut it off, because that would probably be less fucking painful at this point. And then the guy's, of course, like, oh, well, I win. No, Theon fucking won, you asshole. You just are a dick, and you're just cutting people's fingers off and shit. Like, not cool. So then we skip to Robb, and he is having sort of like a meeting with the guardsmen, I guess, of like Lord Frey and stuff, and they're saying like, Lord Frey has these terms that need to be met, and if these terms are met, then he will gladly give you his men for your army. So the terms are, he wants a formal apology, very easily agreeable, and then he wants Harrenhal, which they still agree to. Seems pretty alright there. And then they basically say that they want Lord Edmure to marry his daughter Rosaline, who's 19. Edmure's just kind of like, fuck that, like, no, I don't want to marry her at first and stuff, and then eventually he kind of gives in, because he realizes that, like, he needs to do this, and, like, it will make up for what he did with the stone mill, and it's just, it really sucks, because, like, you don't want to force him to do it, like, and it's not really fair, but at the same time, like, there's no other choice. Like, it's like the needs of the one versus the needs of the many. Like, it doesn't really compare. So in the end, they agree, and it's all good. So then we go to Brienne and Jaime, which I'm very pleased to see them again, and I'm glad they're going to be in the next episode too. So we skip to them, and they're having supper with Lord Bolton, and then we have him commenting on Brienne in a dress, and Brienne in a dress, weird, like, this is really odd, and I don't like it. Like, give her armor back. Then we have Jaime, poor Jaime, trying to, like, cut the meat and stuff, and he can't with his stump, and then Brienne, like, stabs the fork into it. And then, of course, Lord Bolton kind of starts, like, threatening them in a way, and then, like, Bran, like, grabs the knife, and, like, it's really cute. Jaime, like, puts his hands on her, or on her hand, just to, like, assure her, like, it's okay, like, everything will be fine. Then Lord Bolton and Jaime kind of have this discussion, and they kind of get to an agreement that he'll return Jaime to King's Landing to his father, and of course for money, like a lot of friggin' money, because he's gonna get the most out of this, basically. And then another part of it is that he has to tell his father good things, basically, like he had nothing to do with the maiming of his hand and stuff. And then we get to the shocking note that Brienne is not allowed to go with him. And then of course I'm just like, no! You have to take her with you, and of course Jaime's like, no, like, I insist, and the dude's like, I don't think so, like, she's a traitor, blah blah blah, and it's like, fuck that, no, they need to fucking stay together. Like, what would they do with Brienne if, like, you left her there? Like, not only would they, like, probably, like, torture or kill her or something, but they'd probably rape her too, and then I don't even know what they do, but, like, no, not fair. And then we go to one of the most amusing parts of the episode, and that's Tywin and Olenna, and they're talking about the marriage and stuff, and Olena's like, fuck no, like, you're not marrying my, like, grandson, Sir Loras, there to your freaking old-ass daughter, Cersei, like, and she's getting all offended and stuff, not offended, but she's offending him, actually, and Tywin's kind of taking it in stride, but at the same time, he's like, no, like, they will be married, like, she is a great catch, and, like, you will marry her. And I just love when Olenna calls her old, like, just straight out calls her old, like, it's just hilarious. And she even brings up Cersei and Jaime, and it's like, woo! Like, this lady has the most balls I've ever seen. It's fabulous. And then, of course, he threatens to put Loras in the Kingsguard where he can't marry or anything, like, if he doesn't marry Cersei's. And it's like, that is not fucking fair, Tywin. Like, frig off. Not cool. So let me go back to the wall, and let me tell you, the winds are ridiculous. They're, like, just crazy, like, Arctic winds. And then Ygritte is, like, just going to, like, pull herself up again and stuff and put another thing in the wall, and then suddenly this huge crack forms down the wall, and then it's like, they're all kind of like, holy shit. And then this like huge like avalanche kind of thing happens, and all like the ice and snow falls, and they lose a whole group of them, probably, I think they're like 6 or something, like over further. And then, holy crap, Ygritte and Jon fall, and I am not okay with this. They fall, and they're like dangling there, and then the ward guy falls, and so it's just Tormund holding on to the wall himself, and he just braces himself against the wall like as hard as he can, and he's trying to hold them all up. Then the ward guy is just kind of like, no, like, we need to, like, cut them loose and stuff, and he starts sawing at it, and Jon's like, holy crap, like, we gotta do something. And so he starts swinging back and forth, until he eventually gets one of the ice picks into the wall and swings himself up onto like a ledge or something. And then, of course, in that moment, the rope lets go and Ygritte falls downward. And it's like this moment of, oh my god, like, no. And then she's fine, like, Jon's stable enough, and then he helps her up. And then as soon as she's up, they, like, hug, and it's so cute, and I just loved that moment. It was so adorable. And then, of course, the warg guy and Jon just, like, exchange this look, kind of like, Jon's like, I know you did that, like, on purpose. Like, that wasn't just, like, about saving your own asses, like, you just tried to kill me. Like, I didn't like this guy before, and, like, I hate him now. Like, you just tried to kill Jon Snow and Ygritte. Like, fuck you, guy. I don't care who you are. Like, stop. And then we go to Sansa and Loras, and they're sitting together and talking on, like, this fountain kind of thing, and, Loras is being very uncomfortable, and then he goes from being very uncomfortable and, like, kind of blasé to being very, very gay, and very, like, oh, like, all this wedding stuff and blah, 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 and it's getting a little suspicious at that point. Like, if I were Sansa, I'd be kind of like, you're talking more about, like, how you picture the wedding looking than your bride. Like, that's a little weird, and he, like, actually almost forgets to mention that until, like, he looks back at her and he's kind of like, oh, like, holy crap, I forgot that. So, like, Sansa's all happy, but of course Loras is still bullshitting, and kind of sucks for her. And then they kind of talk a bit about the High Gardens, like, he asks her if she's ever been there, and blah, blah, blah. Then we have Tyrion and Cersei talking, and holy crap, they actually can agree on something right now, and that's how fucking awful their father is. Like, this is a fucking terrible situation, and then, of course, Tyrion's still wondering, like, who tried to get him killed, and we kind of find out that it wasn't Cersei, that it was more likely Joffrey, like, or, like, Tywin. I don't think it was, I don't know. That part kind of confused me a little. Or, like, I didn't hear something right or something. And they talk about how, like, the worst out of this, like, the worst of the 4, like, how they're gonna feel, of course, is Sansa, because, like, Sansa has to marry Tyrion, and I know Tyrion's awesome and all, but, like, no, this fucking sucks. So this is kind of, like, actually a cute, kind of, like, brother-sister moment. Not necessarily cute, but it's, like, a interesting bonding moment that we haven't got to see with them yet, and they're kind of bonding over their, like, mutual, like, current hate of Tywin, and at the same time they're really like worried about Jaime still, and they really want him back, and they have no idea where he is still. And then we go back to Sansa. Poor girl still doesn't know about the marriage, and she's just kind of talking with Shay and stuff, and then Tyrion comes in, and he's trying to get Shay to leave awkwardly, and it's very suspicious, and it's very obvious at the same time, and it's just like, Tyrion, you haven't told her yet either, like, you're gonna have to do this eventually, this is a terrible time to do it, but... And then, of course, he's like, well, this is awkward, and we skip to Varys and Littlefinger around, like, the Iron Throne, and we don't get to fucking find out what happens. So they're talking about the Iron Throne and how it's made up of, like, less than 200 swords, but apparently there's, like, some, like, legend or something that it's made up of, like, 1,000 swords. And then Littlefinger's actually being really creepy, and like Varys seems like really afraid, and like they both kind of had these plans and schemes that got really fucked with because of each other, and neither of them are very happy about it, but like, holy crap, Lord Baelish can be really creepy. And then we have this big monologue that Littlefinger's going on, and then we kind of switch between characters. Like, we go to Joffrey, who has his crossbow, and then we kind of pan over and we see Rose, I'm pretty sure it was Rose, was shot with, like, a bunch of arrows, like, at least half a dozen, and she's dead and, like, against the bed or something, and it's like, holy crap, he is a murdering psychopath. And then we go to poor Sansa, and she's watching, like, a boat go out of the harbor, and she's just crying, and she's just so sad. Like, she definitely wishes she had have gone with Lord Baelish now, and I think it's a bit too late. So, oh my god, just, that's so sad. Like, she's so upset, and, like, there's literally nothing that can be done about it at this point, I don't think. And then, of course, the very last part of the monologue is basically, like, and the climb is all there is. And then it ends, and then we see, like, Ygritte breaching the top of the wall, and they're just kind of climbing up on there, and they're really obviously exhausted, and they just kind of, both of them, like, Jon gets over too, and they just collapse on the ground, and they're like, holy crap. And then the sun breaches the clouds, and they're like, whoa, like, they kind of, like, realize where they are, and then they both, like, lean upward and look out over the vast, like, north beyond the wall, and it's just, like, so beautiful. Like, it's gorgeous, and, Ygritte looks so happy to finally see that. And then adorably, hand in hand, they get up and they go to the other side to look out over Jon's north, and it's just gorgeous, like, this gorgeous, gorgeous scene. It's beautiful, like, and then they just, like, kiss, and it's so cute, and it's so perfect, and then we, like, pan out, and we see, like, the full vastness of it, and it's just a very beautiful way to end the episode. So then it's over, and then I'm sad. So then in the preview for the next episode, we have a few things happening. Jon confronting the warg guy about, like, cutting them loose. Then we have them taking Jaime away, and then this creepy guy saying something about they'll take good care of Brienne, like, I'm fucking sure you will. Like, Then we have Beric talking to Arya, and her saying how death is basically her one and only true god. Then we have some quick few shots of, like, Dany talking to some new guy, so that will be interesting. We have Gendry being really confused. We have Arya saying she'll have the Lannisters kill them all. We have Theon looking like he's about to get something important cut off. And we have several other, like, quick snapshots and stuff, like, very dramatic, and we get to see the dragon at the end, so I'm glad we're going to see the dragons again in the next episode. So overall, that was a sweet episode. Like, it was very good. Like, these last three, I think, have been, like, my favorite of the season. They're very, like, dramatic and good character and plot development. I don't think I liked this one quite as much as the last one. Like, I really liked the last episode. There were some very good emotional scenes, but I really liked the climb in this episode, and I really liked the stuff with Tyrion and Cersei, and I liked just seeing some of the plots progress, and I liked seeing a few characters we just haven't got to see in a while, and we don't know, like, what the hell's up with them or where they're going and stuff, so we got to see a few of those, which was awesome. But as always, that was an awesome episode, and I'm excited to see what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below if what you liked about the episode, and like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Catherine Bogle, and this is my review of episode 6, season 3 of Game of Thrones, The Climb. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good week.